Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Shoe Snob unboxing video series, One Take Wonders. Here we are with a few new things. First and foremost, you're gonna see this lovely new toy I have after all the feedback, all negative, about the sound. And yes, agreeing that it needed improvement, I finally did something about it and bought what I've read are one of the best mics in the industry. So hopefully this now puts me up a level in my quality of video making, blogging, so to speak, as a video caster. So anyway, here's to hoping this now sounds much better. Now I won't lie, I'm not a good editor, so what the sound is giving me is what I'm gonna publish. I don't know how to sync it and take it out and re-put it in and make it sound better. So here's to hoping this thing is worth every cent I paid and it just does the job, just like my One Take Wonders, no editing. All right, well, you're probably thinking another green box. Yes, another Paul Parkman shoe. But as Paul Parkman is eager to really expand themselves in this industry, I've been constantly trying to push them to try to do new things. And considering they do pretty much pair by pair and not massive production in the sense like, making 50 pairs of black shoes at a time, they really just make every kind of shoe custom, but in a super fast time. I think it's a 2-week turnaround. So, a lot of what you see from them are quite aggressive lasts, quite aggressive styles, quite aggressive patinas. And, that caters to a certain type of person. But there are other people who potentially have been curious, but wanted something a bit more toned down. So we did that in a pretty classic style, with a new shaped last and in the hand-welted form, construction, so to speak. So let's take a look at a more classic hand-welted Paul Parkman model. We've gone through all the box and the bags a million times before, so let's just cut straight to it. All right. So, a lot of the Paul Parkman shoes always have quite elongated, pointed, very strong, I want to call them strong lasts that are aggressive. And in reality, that's not for me. I don't like super pointed lasts. I like a little bit of elongation, but not crazy amounts, you know what I mean? So I've been trying to get them to do a more rounded last and something that I felt was a bit more classic. And so they did just that. So this is a very kind of classic almond shaped toe. As you can see, very elegant and traditional. Nothing crazy, a little bit of elongation, not too round, not too pointed, a very classic shape. At the same time, here's a very kind of classic Adelaide model with a little bit of detailing with the peak on the bottom facing part there, with a very subtle kind of brown patina. I think this is the type of shoe that could appeal to most dress shoe lovers. The only thing, again, that I'm not crazy about are these heels. I know a lot of guys like those, especially short guys. I'm a short guy, but I just like a standard 1 inch to 1 inch and 1/8 heel. These I think are about 1.5 inches, and for my own personal taste are a bit much, especially when you have such a short and thin waist. If this was elongated and maybe a tad thicker, the proportion might not seem so kind of in your face, so to speak. But like that heel is massive, waist small, long forefoot. It just it kind of gives it a certain look, if you know what I mean, like an elevated shoe look, which is really not my thing. I don't mind my height, and I like a kind of classic silhouette and shape. So But let's talk about probably what most of you are interested in, and that is the fact that Paul Parkman can do hand-welted footwear. So, you know, they do everything from cemented to Blake to Goodyear to Norwegian, maybe Bolognese, I'm not sure, Bolognese. But they told me they could do hand-welted, so I was curious about that also, because it seems like everybody's doing hand-welted these days or moving in that direction, and a lot of people prefer that. And so, sorry, I'm just looking at the size here, which is throwing me off a bit. I guess missing the 3, but so yeah, so I did the hand welted. Now Paul Parkman likes to do a full lining, but I ripped that out and I checked. You could see all the punches in there from a hand welted shoe. The difference, and again I'll have to ask the owner about this, I believe he calls it a Openka hand welted, but I'm confused about that because I felt like Openka is more of a hand version of a Blake Rapid, where they stitch everything all at once by hand. But then I would think I would see the stitches on the insole, but I didn't. So it leads me to believe they're welted. And what confuses me is they're still super flexible, which is like an oxymoron for hand welted. Hand welted shoes are always stiff, very stiff. And, you know, it's kind of the beauty of them. They're stiff because they're made like robustly, solidly. They have, you know, they have all the proper stuff on the inside and none of the workarounds, none of the cheaper versions. So, yeah, tried them on, super flexible, which is great. I think a lot of people, I think the majority of people don't want a shoe that feels stiff. Granted, the shoe connoisseurs have been wearing hand-welted, bespoke, these types of footwear, understand that. It's kind of the process of a solid shoe requires a solid break-in. But these felt as if there was no break-in at all. Now, don't be fooled, the last still runs large. With Paul Parkman, I seem to be a 39.5, which is a full size down from my regular 40.5, which is UK 6.5, US 7.5, so 39.5 is technically UK 5.5, US 6.5. But, and I won't lie, even these are generous. So again, their sizing, in my opinion, is like a whole size different. I wouldn't just go order in your regular size. I'd definitely communicate with the people first. And interestingly enough, they haven't really kind of gone, just show you the shoes as I'm talking, they kind of haven't gone full-fledged with the whole hand-welted option. You can't see it on the site, and maybe because this is a new project they're working on. So, but again, as I mentioned, Paul Parkman makes pair by pair, and I believe the website is more like a template for you to kind of pick and choose. So you see a shoe and it comes in a color, and it comes in a last, and it comes in a this, and it comes in a that, and you can order it just like you see it. But I believe if you reach out to them, you could also customize it. You could say, hey man, I want that shoe, but I want hand welted, can I get that instead? And I'm pretty sure they'll accommodate that for you. So obviously do bear in mind that a cemented shoe versus a Blake shoe is not going to look exactly the same hand welted. You're going to have a thicker sole. It's going to stick out more on the edges. So do bear those things in mind when you order. If you like a specific look, best to stick with that same construction. If you choose a hand welted, it's going to kind of beef it up a bit. Now that's probably not a bad thing on their pointier last, because it might balance them out a little bit better. So anyway, here's a new hand welted maker for you. Again, I don't know the price. I didn't pay for these. I imagine there's an upcharge on the Goodyear welted, probably a couple $100. But do know that the option is there. Do know that a classic round last is there. Do know that Paul Parkman shows a lot of bold, bright, colorful, crazy stuff sometimes, but they can do subtle, subdued, classic, elegant models as well. So yeah, here you go. Paul Parkman hand welted. Interesting things. A lot of people are moving up in the world of hand welted. Hope you've enjoyed. I got a few more unboxing videos here to do, so do stay tuned and have a great day. Thank you very much.